In the misty dawn of antiquity, a city rose from 7 hills beside the Tiber River. This was Rome, a city that would grow to become the epicenter of one of the greatest empires in history. Its legendary foundation in 753 BC is steeped in myth and lore, with tales of Romulus and Remus and the rule of the 7 kings. These early kings, each leaving their own unique mark, laid the foundations for the societal structures that would drive Rome's rise. It was under their rule that the Senate, a political institution that would hold significant influence, was established. Alongside this, the formation of the Roman legions, disciplined and relentless, marked a significant step towards Rome's future military prowess. The monarchy was overthrown in 509 BC, and the Republic was born. Thus, from a small village, Rome grew into a republic that would soon be ready to set its eyes on the wider world. With its firm foundations, Rome began to look beyond its city walls. The ambition of this nascent city-state was reflected in its relentless expansion, its eyes set on the vast and bountiful Mediterranean. A series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars would set the stage for Rome's domination over the Mediterranean. These wars were waged against the powerful city of Carthage, Rome's most formidable adversary at the time. The First Punic War saw Rome establish its naval prowess, culminating in the capture of Sicily. The second, however, was a more personal affair. It was during this time that the legendary general Hannibal of Carthage took center stage, crossing the Alps with his war elephants in a bold attempt to bring the war to Rome itself. Despite Hannibal's initial successes, Rome emerged victorious, with Carthage losing its influence and Spain falling under Roman control. But Rome's expansion was far from over. The eastern Mediterranean and the rich lands of Egypt were still ripe for conquest. It was Julius Caesar, a name forever etched in history, who would lead Rome in its next phase of expansion. Caesar's military genius and political acumen enabled him to amass unprecedented power. His conquest of Gaul extended Rome's reach to the Atlantic, and his role in the civil war against Pompey led to his becoming the undisputed leader of Rome. However, Caesar's reign was short-lived. His assassination on the Ides of March in 44 BC marked the end of the Roman Republic, but it paved the way for the rise of the Roman Empire. His adopted heir, Octavian, later known as Augustus, emerged victorious in the subsequent power struggle, becoming Rome's first emperor. Under Augustus, Rome enjoyed a period of stability and prosperity. The empire stretched from the sandy deserts of Africa to the cold, harsh frontiers of Britannia. The Mediterranean, once a contested battleground, had become Mare Nostrum, our sea. Rome had grown from a city-state to a power that spanned continents. With an empire stretching across 3 continents, Rome entered its golden age. This era, known as Pax Romana, marked a period of relative peace and prosperity that lasted for over 2 centuries. But it was more than just a time of tranquility. The Roman Empire, in its zenith, was a beacon of architectural splendor and cultural advancement. The Romans, masters of engineering, constructed architectural marvels that stand testament to their ingenuity even today. The aqueducts, a testament to their understanding of water management and civil engineering, brought fresh water into cities, improving public health and sanitation. The roads, straight and efficient, connected every corner of the empire, facilitating trade and military movement. Then there was the Grand Colosseum, a symbol of Rome's might and love for spectacle, where gladiators battled and dramas unfolded to the delight of thousands. But Rome's golden age wasn't just about physical structures. It was an era that saw a flourishing of art, literature, and science. The Romans embraced Greek culture, but also added their own unique touch. Their literature, whether it was the epic poetry of Virgil or the philosophical musings of Seneca, left an indelible mark on the world. Their legal system, the foundations of which are still evident in many modern legal codes, was a model of fairness and justice. In this time of peace, Rome reached the pinnacle of its power and influence. The empire had never been stronger, its people never more prosperous, but as history would have it, even the mightiest have their fall. But even the mightiest structures can harbor hidden weaknesses. So it was with the Roman Empire, a colossus that spanned continents, but was not immune to fundamental problems. As Rome's territories expanded, so too did its economy. Yet this growth was a double-edged sword. The empire became increasingly reliant on the spoils of war and the labor of enslaved people. When these resources dwindled, the economy faltered. Inflation soared, and Rome's once thriving markets were marred by uncertainty. And then there was the power. Oh, how intoxicating it was. But it brewed a dangerous cocktail of ambition and rivalry. The Praetorian Guard, once the protectors of Rome, became kingmakers, auctioning the throne to the highest bidder. The political fabric of the empire was being torn apart from within, as emperors and senators vied for control. Meanwhile, the societal structure was also under strain. The divide between the rich patricians and the poor plebeians grew ever wider. Discontent simmered among the masses, with bread and circuses only temporarily appeasing the people's anger. The unity that had defined Rome's rise was fracturing. The empire was straining under its own weight, and threats were gathering on the horizon. But as we'll see, Rome was not yet ready to fall. Its spirit was still strong, and it would fight to the last man. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wouldn't be destroyed in one either. As Rome faltered, others were ready to seize their chance. An array of formidable tribes, from the fierce Goths and Vandals to the relentless Huns, were drawn to the wealth and grandeur of Rome, like moths to a flame. They began to exert pressure on Rome's extensive borders, testing the limits of the empire's stretched military resources. These barbarian invasions were not sporadic, but rather a constant gnawing issue for the Roman Empire. Each successful raid or siege emboldened these tribes, while simultaneously weakening the empire's grip on its vast territories. Rome found itself in an unenviable position, fighting a war on multiple fronts against enemies that were growing in confidence and strength. The Roman military, once feared and respected across the known world, was now stretched thin and under immense pressure. Their ability to repel these invasions was dwindling, and with each passing year, the empire's hold on its territories weakened. The once invincible empire was now on the defensive, struggling to hold back the tide. In the face of these pressures, the empire took a drastic step. It was the late 4th century, and the Roman Empire, the colossal entity that had once seemed invincible, was divided in two. On one side, the Western Roman Empire, with Rome as its capital, and on the other, the Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, with its capital in Constantinople. This division, though intended as a strategy for better management, highlighted the contrasting fates of the two halves. The Western Empire, beset by economic instability, political corruption, and incessant barbarian invasions, teetered on the brink of collapse. Its cities crumbled, its armies faltered, and its once vibrant culture began to fade into obscurity. Meanwhile, the Byzantine Empire, though not without its challenges, managed to hold its ground, maintaining relative stability and prosperity. Its capital, Constantinople, blossomed into a vibrant metropolis, a beacon of culture and learning. The sun was setting on the Western Empire, while the Byzantine Empire was just beginning to rise. Though the empire fell, its echoes still resonate today. As we reflect on the legacy of Rome, let's remember, this was an empire that touched nearly every aspect of the world we know today. One of the most significant contributions of the Romans was to the field of law. The Roman legal code, known as the 12 Tables, served as the foundation for Western legal systems. It introduced concepts like innocent until proven guilty and the right to face your accuser, principles that are at the very heart of justice today. Rome's influence didn't stop at legal systems. The empire also left a lasting impact on modern language. Latin, the language of Rome, is the precursor to the Romance languages: Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. It's also had a profound influence on the English language, with about 60% of English words having Latin roots. Let's not forget Rome's contributions to engineering. The Romans were master builders, constructing roads, aqueducts, and buildings that stand to this day. Their knack for building infrastructure not only allowed for the effective administration of a vast empire, but also set a precedent for future civilizations. The Roman roads, once used to carry legions across the empire, served as the blueprint for modern highways. In governance, too, Rome set the stage. The Roman Republic, with its system of representatives and checks and balances, inspired many democratic systems around the world, including the United States. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of Rome is its cultural and architectural influence. From the iconic Colosseum to the majestic Pantheon, Roman architecture continues to inspire and awe. Its art, literature, and philosophy have shaped Western cultural thought, leaving an indelible mark on human history. So, when we talk about the legacy of Rome, we're not just talking about the past. We're talking about the structures that hold up our societies, the roads we travel, the laws we abide by, and the language we speak. We're talking about the world we live in today. The Roman Empire may have fallen, but its spirit lives on in the world we know today.